Make sure my volume's off here. And now it is. What is going on, movie fans? Thank you guys for popping back in. We were going to do a podcast. Instead, we decided we'll go live. We're going to talk about what we were going to talk about in the podcast, which is some of the sequels that we're really looking forward to coming out in 2020. If they come out, of course, a bunch of these movies have gotten backed up. We'll also jump into, Greg and myself will jump into some of our favorite and least favorite sequels ever, and there's definitely a lot of bad ones, a couple of good ones as well. So looking forward to talking movies with my brother Greg. Man, Greg, hope all is well. Thank you for popping in.
Hey, glad to be here. Everything's good so far.
Everything's good so far is right, and we're going to start talking movies. Just going to talk to the chat for a quick second. What's going on, John? What's going on, Andy Garcia? Gabriel in the chat, Chad in the chat, Blue Collar, Jawad. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you guys for being tremendous supporters of the channel. So like I said, there's a couple of pretty big sequels coming out. I'm going to let you run down some of them, and then we'll jump into a bit of a discussion about the ones that we're really looking forward to this year.
Sounds good. At the end of this year, you got Coming to America coming out, which I'm sure is going to be a big one, but still kind of early to say anything about that. There's no preview or anything. And, like we were saying before, God only knows if it's going to end up actually coming out this year. Hopefully it does.
There's been no trailers to that, and that's obviously a classic with Eddie Murphy.
It doesn't come out till December though, too. So we still got a little bit. But and then you got Bill and Ted, which I'm looking really forward to. I'm not a huge Bill and Ted fan, but I'm kind of back on the Keanu bandwagon at this point after the John Wicks, and he's returned to the Matrix also not next year, a couple of years. But Bill and Ted, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see that one. At this point, I can't wait to just get back to a movie theater, I guess, still.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original Bill and Ted's in a really, really long time, and so I don't remember. Obviously I know the phone booth and everything else, but I don't remember much about the storyline. But like you said, Keanu's kind of been on a roll, so exactly. I'll be sure to check it out.
The first Bill and Ted was pretty good. The second one not so good, but they both got your man George Carlin's in both of them.
Yeah, well, not in this one.
Oh no, he's not going to be in this one. I don't
think they're going to be able to get George Carlin to be in this one.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to skip over this one. But you got those two come out, and then the other three big sequels, which are like the big ones, I would say, were Wonder Woman, which Wonder Woman 1984. I think the first Wonder Woman was awesome until they get to that final fight where she fights the bad guy at the end. I thought that was a little over the top, but overall, Wonder Woman was fantastic. And the trailer they have for the new one, I'm going to be honest, when I watch the trailers, I'm really not overly impressed. And I kind of don't understand how the guy's back. What's his name? Chris Evans, right? Is that his name? Chris Evans is Captain America.
Oh, not Evans. I know who you're talking about, the main character from the first one.
Yeah, I don't really understand how he's back in it, and they show him in the trailer. It looks like
I'm sure they're going to explain it.
I hope so, but I hope it's not a stupid explanation is what I'm saying.
But that's one thing I hate about trailers nowadays with movies, because that's obviously a huge twist in the movie.
Yeah, I don't understand how they show that in the trailer. Chris Pine, that's his name.
Yeah, and they give that away before the movie even comes out.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
And it's not just that movie; it's a lot of movies.
Yeah, I hope Wonder Woman's good though. DC definitely doesn't have a lot going for it. They had the Joker last year, which was awesome, and I'd say Wonder Woman was the other good one they had. But outside
I freaking loved it. And what's going on? Thank you guys for being here. And, we're going to talk to the chat in a little bit. We just kind of want to talk about some of the sequels and then talk about some of our favorite and least favorite. And then we'll talk to you guys about some of your least favorite and most favorite sequels and what you're looking forward to that's coming out this year. But, the first Wonder Woman was amazing, I thought. Now, I know not everybody was in love with it. Some people said it was kind of a rip-off of Captain America. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. It was one of those pleasant surprises I didn't expect much from.
No, first Wonder Woman I thought was really good. Like I said, I thought that last fight scene was a little over the top, but the Wonder Woman had some really good scenes. The part where she was in the World War I and the trench warfare scene.
Yeah, for sure.
They can't move up the line or whatever, and then she goes out by herself and just starts deflecting bullets and stuff.
That was the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, it's the best part of the movie. That scene was awesome.
But this new one, she's now in like 1984. So you fast forward to the future. The music in the trailer is great, and it definitely gives you that like 80s vibe.
I feel like that's really Stranger Things. That's becoming a really popular thing to do these days. I feel like Stranger Things started that trend, but you see a lot of stuff trying to like the 80s has become like a really good they're setting a lot of movies up in that time period right now. It seems like.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because, like I said, I was a huge fan of the first one. Gal Gadot is super hot. But I think it's going to be a great movie. I hope, at least, and a lot of times sequels will let you down. We're going to get into some of the ones that have definitely let us down in the past. But like I said, one of my favorite superhero movies that's come out, DC, I think it's their best one. So hopefully,
I think Joker might have been better than one.
Oh, you're right. Joker was better.
I like the Joker a lot.
It was the best when it came out. It was the best when it came out.
When it came out, it was definitely the best.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I think that is the one that I might be second. It's probably my second most anticipated sequel. But the top three are really close for me. But
I'm gonna put that number 3 for me. I'm looking. The next one, the one I'm really looking forward to, is Quiet Place 2.
That's my favorite. That's the one I'm most looking forward to.
Quiet Place was me, you, and my fiance. We went to see Quiet Place in the movie theaters. It was like a Monday afternoon. We were literally only ones in the whole entire theater, and that was a great experience.
Quiet Place was amazing. And if you guys have not seen Quiet Place, it's a movie you absolutely have to see. Picture a movie with no dialogue. Yeah. They don't talk the entire movie, but it keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. And the whole story about Quiet Place is basically there's this, I guess they're aliens that have taken over planet Earth. And if you make a noise, you die. It's as simple as that. It's a simple storyline, but it's so well acted. The suspense in the movie was incredible. Specifically the scene in the bathtub.
Well, that whole entire last third of the movie where I don't know. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I'm probably going into right here. Which she's giving birth, she's going into labor, and they have to set off the fireworks to make enough noise so she could scream and stuff like that. Whole entire part of the movie was just awesome. I mean, the whole movie was really great, but that last third was really intense.
Yeah, and I have a huge crush. I have a huge crush on her. The main actress in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, huge crush. A big fan. But then the guy from The Office died in it, which so now what's the actress's name again? I always forget.
Off the top of my head, I can't think.
She's in the one with Tom Cruise. The Day After Tomorrow.
The one with Tom Cruise.
She's in Day After the one with Tom Cruise.
I love Day After Tomorrow. I forgot about it. Yeah.
I know. So I know somebody's gonna say her name, but oh man, somebody say it. I'm gonna look stupid. Bigger Mike says Greg's looking spiffy, but I absolutely love the original. I thought the original was great, and I think the sequel is going to be even better. I mean, you look at the trailer and that first scene that they show, where it's in the town, and all of a sudden they get completely caught off guard because they think this is over with. They think it's done with, or at least that's the way it's portrayed in the trailer. And then they're driving, and then all of a sudden you see all these people in panic, and the aliens are back, and somebody takes over a bus, and the bus is about to collide into them, and
one thing about this trailer though, because the first Quiet Place, you pretty much never saw the creatures. You'd see them for a split second and stuff. In this trailer, they're showing a lot of these creatures. The first Quiet Place, you really didn't see them that much until you got to, the end. You saw it finally and stuff, and you'd see really quick shots of it running really fast, but you want to get a clear shot of it. So I really hope that, it's clearly they're going to be showing these things a lot earlier in the movie if they're doing it in the trailer. So I'm hoping that they figure out a way to keep that suspense high.
I saw it's Emily Blunt, isn't it?
Blunt. That's right.
Emily Blunt it is. But it's not gonna have the guy John from The Office, so that we'll see.
No, I actually think he is in the movie. I don't know if it's gonna be flashbacks or.
It's got to be a flashback, obviously. We're not trying to give anything away.
Part of it was a prequel. I don't know how true that is, though. Now, because what the funny thing about this movie is it was supposed to come out in March, and a week before it was going to come out, obviously, coronavirus shut everything down. But it was that close to be coming out. The reviews came out. People have seen this movie and stuff. Everybody says it's great, also, which makes it more exciting.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be a sequel that hits home. It was one of my favorite movies. That I think it came out in 2017. Absolutely loved it. It's definitely one of the better horror movies or suspense movies, whatever you want to call it, that I've seen in the last 5, 6, 7 years. So that is one of my most anticipated movies for this year. I think it's going to be absolutely great. From the trailer, like you said, it's kind of reminiscent of Alien, because in the first Alien, you don't really see the alien that much, and then in the second one, you see them all over the place. It seems like it's kind of like Aliens, where you start to see all these different aliens all out and about, because that was part of the mystery of the first one. You you never really got to see their faces until the very end. Like you saw these big bodies, but you never really got to see their faces until the end.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was just such a creative movie. The idea of using sound like that, I mean, it was just, it blew us away. When we saw it in the movie theater, we were on the edge of our seats for 2 hours straight. And my fiance was going, like, crying and tearing up because she was so tense. Like, it was so intense. She was so scared.
Yeah, no, the movie was absolutely incredible. I think it's going to be great. Can't wait till it comes out. And I think that's my number one most anticipated sequel this year. And like you said, it was supposed to come out a while ago, and now it's backed up till September.
Yeah.
So we'll see with that. And then the third one, I mean, you know, I'm a Tom Cruise fan, and it's a you know, obviously it's much anticipated. Now it's kind of weird. It's like one of those movies where you're like, why did they wait so long to make a sequel?
I got something to say on that. Let me tell you something. When it comes to movies like this, and you gotta wait, movies that have these huge, passionate followings, that I'm not. There's movies that have passionate followings that don't get this, but the last couple of years we've gotten a couple of sequels that people have waited over a decade for. More than that, actually, they've waited decades for. And Top Gun's about to fall in that category. The other two, I would say, were Doctor Sleep, which was the Shining sequel, which was awesome. Doctor Sleep was really good. It was worth the wait. And the other major sequel that we got before that was, oh man, I just had a brain fart. Sorry. Well,
I was just reading the chat, and that's what happens when you do these, and they're not edited. The hottest actress is Gal Gadot, as far as I'm concerned. She's smoking hot. They played Wonder Woman. I'm absolutely in love with her. Well, Greg's doing what he's doing. I'll talk to the chat. I'm not gonna lie, Greg does seem like the type of guy that would watch movies all day, every day. Greg loves movies. That's why we're doing the channel. Greg's
pretty much exactly who I am.
You should do a
Heist. The other sequel we waited forever for is Blade Runner, and Blade Runner 2 is better than Blade Runner 1. Blade Runner 2 was awesome.
Yeah, Blade Runner 2 was great.
Blade Runner 2 was phenomenal, and that was another one of those movies that you waited 20 years before you got the sequel for it, and it ended up being worth the wait. So I'm really hoping Top Gun 2 falls into that category. Top Gun 1's almost like a joke of a movie. Also, when you watch it, there's a lot of stuff in there that, like, you watch it, like the volleyball scene. There's like a 7-minute volleyball scene with like all these guys who are like perfect shape, just flexing their muscles and playing volleyball, and like everything, they're all oiled up. There's no logical explanation for it. They're doing it in like, they're playing beach volleyball on a hot summer day in like jeans and stuff like that. It's like stuff that makes absolutely no sense. They're totally lathered up in like baby oil. And it's like, yeah, I mean, first Top Gun's got some scenes in there questionable, almost like they almost fall into like a comedy category. But
it's still a classic, though. It's
I love Top Gun.
Basically, what this seems like it's about is Maverick is back. You know, obviously that being Tom Cruise, and now he's kind of the guy that's teaching all the pilots.
Yeah.
And some of the action scenes in this movie look incredible. You know, you see, I mean, you know, we'll get to see the full film, but you see some of the high flying action and some of the, you know, all the shots going off and flying in tight windows and everything else.
I think that the advancement in technology is going to be like, this is a movie that's going to benefit greatly on the advancements in technology since the original came out.
Yeah, and I think about that often with older movies, and we'll get into that, I guess, when we talk about movies that we think maybe could be sequels and stuff like that, or remade. And, you know, like Back to the Future, for example. A lot of people
should never make Back to the Future.
A lot of people say that, but part of me wants to see it remade because, like you said, with the new modern day technology, it makes me wonder how much cooler they could make it look, and some of the scenes and everything else. I think it would be cool to see it remade.
But you go back and watch the original Back to the Future, or even the whole trilogy, really. But I mean, definitely the first two. And it's not like the special effects don't hold up. It's not like you're watching it and it's like, all right, this looks really unrealistic now. Does it really need that boost up? No, because they're gonna screw it up. They're gonna mess up. Like Back to the Future is like a perfect movie, and the second one's like real close to being as good. Like, yeah, you really shouldn't talk. Like that's like saying, oh yeah, let's remake Forrest Gump. Like no, we don't.
I'm not saying they got to. I'm not even saying they should. And Blue Collar says, do not. Margot Robbie is hot, Chad. Blue Collar says, do not remake Back to the Future. Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? It's a classic. It's an epic movie. Everybody loves it. And I'm not even saying it. I'm not even saying it should be remade, but I'd be interested to see what it would look like in you know, modern day, you know, with technology the way it is now.
Who would you play as Who would pick as Marty and who would you pick as Doc Brown? I have the answer for this, but I want to see what
Ooh,
you
wow, that's a really good question. How about Shia LaBeouf as Marty?
You want to know who I'm picking?
Who you picking?
For Marty, I'm going to go with Tom Holland.
That's not bad.
You know who I'm going to go with for Doc?
How about Bill Murray?
No, I'm going to go with Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
You run it back with those two guys from the Marvel Universe with the history. They already got the whole, they already got each other down.
Robert Downey Jr. is like 45 years old. Doc Brown's this crazy guy with white hair all over the place.
So Robert Downey Jr., I'm pretty sure, is close to his 50s at this point. And second of all, how old do you think Christopher Lloyd was when he played him?
He looked a lot older.
But they were about the same age. Let those two do it. If they're gonna, I don't want to see it done. But if you're gonna see it done, somebody made a deep fake with those two. One of those videos where they superimpose people's heads. That was good.
Yeah. Maybe that is what they would choose. It would definitely be an interesting remake for sure if they redid Back to the Future in the future. But you're right, it's probably one of those movies that you shouldn't touch.
I think Back to the Future 2 is right there also. The Sports Almanac.
Oh God, it was great. It was great.
That's like a perfect plot line. And like Back to the Future 2 is like the first movie to do the thing. Like Michael J. Fox plays his whole entire family in the future. Like he plays when he goes into the future, he sees himself, and then he plays his son also. He plays the daughter also. And it was like the first time they did like that thing where there'd be two people, one person playing two characters on screen. Back to the Future 2 is really good.
Yeah. John says, "Leave it alone. It's a classic." We're gonna leave it alone. Let me ask you this: what movies would you? Because obviously that's the popular thing, especially in the horror genre. What movies would you like to see redone that have not been redone, or what movies would you be open to? How about Jaws in today with modern technology, or is that another movie you just can't touch? You just can't touch it.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, the thing is, when you think about movies that you like so much, it's like, why even touch them? But I mean, there's definitely got to be a few of them out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Lord of the Rings could be done over way better.
No, stop that. Stop that. Yeah, you're not touching Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I often think about that. Like what?
I mean, there's been so many they've tried to do it and they just failed. Like the idea of the remakes becoming really old to me.
Yeah. How about
not sequel, but a remake?
Crazy?
Huh?
E.T. Is that a crazy one?
Yeah, it's crazy. You want to remake E.T.?
I'm not saying I want to. I'm bringing up ideas.
For every 10 remakes they make, 8 of them are bad. It's very rare to get one that you like walk out and you're like, wow, that was really worth them doing. I mean, there is a few. I thought the Evil Dead remake was awesome. One of the remakes that I think were really good that they did. Like, there's so many bad ones. Like Pet Sematary sucked. Pet
Sematary was horrible. Psycho was horrible.
So bad. And I like Pet Sematary. The original Pet Sematary I love.
Psycho was horrible.
Yeah, Psycho remake. Yeah, that Psycho remake was terrible with Vince Vaughn playing Norman Bates. Like, are you kidding me? Like, there's so many bad ones out there.
Are we excited about?
It's become like a standard too now in Hollywood. Like remakes are everything now. It's like they're either remaking it and they're switching the gender or switching the race of people, and they're just throwing, like a couple years ago they did Ghostbusters with the girls.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started with that. And I'll tell you what. That is a movie that when I saw the trailer to the new Ghostbusters, and I see somebody asked us what we think about. They should make more mob movies. I think they will, John. But somebody asked. But the thing is, it's going to be so hard to get another Joe Pesci or Robert De Niro. But somebody asked us, what the new Ghostbusters, what we think. To be honest with you, I haven't even seen the trailer to that yet. I haven't seen the trailer to it yet.
I think it looks good. It has the original cast back in it.
But when they first remade the new Ghostbusters with all the females, Melissa McCarthy, the movie was better than I thought it was going to be. It was still bad, but I thought it would be unwatchable. I was at least able to watch it. But you're right, though. It's like what Hollywood does now is they're making all these male dominant roles just female movies. Like they can't come up with roles. I'm not saying that they can't, but you look at Bridesmaids. They did the same thing. It was basically The Hangover. You know, so and it was the same thing with the Ghostbusters. I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. And then these movies are just bad movies. I mean, people they're still selling tickets, they're making a profit off of it, and it's totally knocking the originality out of Hollywood.
Yeah, 100%. Blue Collar says some movie. Well, I need what you said. Go ahead.
On the other hand, now when you do get an original movie that comes by, it stands out a lot more too. Like, I know me and you always fight over it, but Looper, I know you hate it. I love it. Looper,
I don't hate. It's not the right word. Severely disappointed.
I love Looper. I think Looper is one of the most original ideas. But when you get something, like, pretty much, basically, you could also throw any Christopher Nolan movie in there, Interstellar. Outside, I guess the Batman movies aren't that original. They're just great. Batman movies are just perfect movies. But like when you get, it's very rare that you get these original ideas. But you get them, people like Tarantino, people like Nolan and stuff. And now when they come along, they definitely shine a little bit brighter because they're up against these movies that have been remade 3 or 4 times already.
Well, yeah, and obviously as time goes on, it's harder to come up with original ideas, right? Because back in 1960, Wizard of Oz was, or whenever it came out, it was like the most original thing ever. But nowadays, you have all this history of movies. It's not easy to come up with new and well thought out ideas.
Oh, I mean, obviously, yeah, there's more out there, but I mean, people are still doing it. And let's be honest, you're gonna make a remake or whatever, you're gonna remake it or reboot it or whatever. I mean, how much thought is really behind that? I mean,
you're right. You're right.
It's just like you're rewatching the same.
I tend to agree with the people in the chat. I tend to agree with the people in the chat. I tend to agree with you that if it's great, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I often wonder, I'm not even saying I'd want to see it or that I want them to make it. Rather, I would see it if they remade some of these classic movies. But I wonder what it would look like. Like if they remade Jaws, like how much,
Okay, Jaws is like one of those movies though that the reason
you don't really care what the shark looks like.
Well, in Jaws you don't see the fucking shark.
You do at the end.
Yeah, but I'm saying originally in Jaws you were supposed to see the shark right from the beginning, and then they had problems with the shark on the set, and because of that you only see it for like 2 or 3 minutes in the whole movie. But that's what makes the first Jaws so good, is not seeing the shark. It just
you're absolutely right.
So, I mean, what benefit is there going to be from new technology? Well, I mean, where's the benefit in a movie that you don't see the creature the whole entire movie?
It's a great point. That first scene is like the scariest scene ever. When you don't even see the shark, you just see the girl getting dragged throughout the water and everything else. And yeah, that was an epic.
You want to know how you know that the original Jaws is so much better off because you don't see the shark? Because you go to Jaws 2 or Jaws 3 or Jaws 4 or Deep Blue Sea.
All right, let's get into the worst sequels ever made. And we were talking about it before we went live, and there's a lot of really bad ones. What's going on, Woods? Thanks for popping the stream. He says, what were your thoughts when they first released the Star Wars sequels? You're a big Star Wars fan. I'll let you talk about that.
I'm a mega Star Wars fan. My room is covered in Star Wars memorabilia. But when you're saying sequels, I'm assuming you're talking about 7, 8, 9. When 7 came out, I was all in. I was all in on 7. 7 I saw like 6 times in the movie theater. I got the tingles throughout the whole entire movie. 7 was just a bombard on nostalgia. It hit every note perfectly to make you remember what it was like in the original trilogy. And then 8 came out, and 8 was the total opposite. 8 was the movie that totally wanted to throw everything that you loved about Star Wars in the trash and start new. And I gotta be honest, after I first saw 8, I hated it for a year. Even though I hated it, though, I saw it like 4 times in the movie theater. Like, that's the type of Star Wars fan I am. But I mean, I actually came around to 8 now. But
you came around to 8? You hated 8.
Yeah, but now I watch 8, and like I know when I came around to 8, I went to Florida to my fiance's dad's house for Christmas, and she has a younger sister who's like 18. She'd never seen any Star Wars, and it was right after episode 9 came out this year when we went, and she'd never seen a Star Wars. And obviously, Chris will tell you I'm a Star Wars freak. And her sister wanted to watch a Star Wars. And normally I would start people with the original trilogy, but her sister's type person is you need like the updated special effects. So I was like, screw it, put on 7. So I watched 7 with her. She absolutely loved 7. So she's like, let's watch 8. Didn't want it, but I watched it with her. And like watching it through the eyes of somebody who's not like me, who's like extremely critical of Star Wars and like the mega fan, somebody who's just watching it to enjoy the story. She really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed watching it because of that. And that's the last time I watched it. So that's what I mean by when I say I came around to it. But then 9 was just, you want to talk about most disappointing movie sequels of all time? Like 9 is up there. 9, there's no explanation how Palpatine comes back. He's just back. And there's just like TIE fighters doing light speed, which has never happened before. And there's just, it was just bad. It was, the whole thing to try to do a Carrie Fisher where they took scenes from 7 that were left over and tried to put her in this movie and film around it. It just felt like very forced and stuff. episode 9 was very disappointing. But yet again, I saw episode 9 4 times in the movie theater also.
Andrew Christopher brings up a really good suggestion, and I've seen a bunch of the guys in the chat ask me about CBT, if they should make a movie on that. They're trolling. They're great members of my Discord, but in case you don't know, Greg, CBT is cock and ball treatment. So I don't think that they'd make them. I don't think that they'd make a movie about that. As far as what Andrew Christopher had to say, he actually brings up a pretty good suggestion, and he said what they should do rather than go back in the past and remake movies that were really good. Go back in the past, find movies that were bad.
I've said this before, yeah.
But had great
movies that have really good premises that were just terribly executed.
Name a couple. Name a couple.
There was that. What was that movie with Bradley Cooper and Robert?
Are you talking about the one where he takes the pill?
It takes the pill and makes him really smart.
They made a show about that.
Yeah, but the show, it wasn't that good neither. I don't think.
I forgot the name of the movie, but they made a show. I didn't think that movie was horrible.
It wasn't horrible, but the idea behind it's like really cool, and it could have been like it could be executed better. And that's just one off the top of my head. You told me to name one off the top of my head. I named one off the top of my head.
yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch. That's actually a good idea. Go back in time, find.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad movies that came out in the past that don't have like a really good premises. But occasionally you get one that you see and you're like, this could have been really good. It just wasn't executed right.
Yeah, Godfather 3. The thing is, blue collar, and yeah, we're talking about bad sequels. You can't really make. I don't know if you're saying suggestion to remake it. You can't really remake it because the first two are epic. But in terms of bad sequels, that was on our list, and it's not because it's on the level of some of the other movies in terms of being a bad movie, because some of these other movies are much worse movies, but it's just because of the two movies that came before it.
Yeah, exactly. Godfather 3, yeah. I mean, Godfather 3, all in all, isn't a terrible, terrible movie. Just the Godfather 2 and Godfather, both the first two were just perfect movies. But don't get me wrong, there's some really bad parts about the third one, like Sofia Coppola and that whole incest plot. There's a couple of really big problems with it. But Pacino's still awesome in the third Godfather. The most quotable thing from all the Godfather movies, arguably, is from the third Godfather, where he goes, "Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in."
Right.
Like Godfather 3 doesn't have like nothing redeemable about it. Like I got some sequels that have nothing redeemable about it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You want to throw one out there? Independence Day 2.
Oh my God.
Independence Day 2 is the last movie I walked out of in the movie theater. It's probably like one of only like 4. But since then, I've watched it like 6 or 7 times on cable just so I could laugh my ass off at it. So I know the movie pretty well. And you want to talk about just terrible, terrible, terrible movie? Independence Day 2 is by far. I mean, I can't.
I only saw the movie once because you told me how bad it was. I watched it, and first off, no Will Smith, right? So
no Will Smith.
It's kind of like the first Jurassic Park.
Everybody else came back. When I say everybody else came back, like all the little side characters, Bill Pullman's back. Bill Pullman's performance in that movie is like in the bottom 5 maybe of all time. Like Bill Pullman's performance in it is terrible.
Yeah,
like the fully grown beard and stuff. Oh, Bill Pullman's real bad at it.
Yeah, Independence Day. Limitless was the movie you were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, Independence Day 2 was a travesty. It was and that was another movie that took a while to come out. You know,
that was the opposite. But Independence Day 1, like I think we had this conversation last time we were on. Independence Day 1 is not a great movie. You know,
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It's enjoyable. But Independence Day 1 is not a great movie. It's it's not like Blade Runner was a great
Godfather.
movie. No, it's not the God. It's definitely not the Godfather. That's definitely a fact. But what I mean is Blade Runner was a great movie, and you waited till 2017, I think, for a Blade Runner sequel to come out. And the Blade Runner sequel is worth the wait. The Shining is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. You waited till 2019 to get the sequel for it, but the sequel was awesome. A lot of people didn't go see it and stuff, but the movie was good.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the first one. Rattle up the next one.
We're just gonna start Batman and Robin. You want to talk about a fall from grace? Go watch the original Batman movie made by Tim Burton with Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, and then go watch Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. That's the one with Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, right?
That's the one with Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman.
Oh, that was painful. It
has the Bane in it that looks like like he could be like one of the Muppets or something like that. He has like a foam suit.
Yeah, that one was bad.
Absolutely horrible. Like by far the worst Batman, and Batman Forever is not much better, but this is significantly worse.
Yeah.
Then you got Grease 2. Grease 2 has got to be in the worst sequels of all time. I'm a big Grease fan. Love Travolta. Take him out of the second one. Movie's not so good.
Yeah, Grease 2 is really bad. What's going on, Kristaps Porzingis, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. Oh, yeah, Christopher Nolan's Batman is definitely the best, Chad. That's not even a debate.
What other bad ones? We got Caddyshack 2. Caddyshack, arguably the greatest comedy of all time. You go to the second one, pretty much none of the cast comes back.
That's a movie that if you're not getting those guys back, that's a movie that you just leave alone.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And even if you do get it back, you probably should still leave it alone because the Caddyshack, like the first Caddyshack, is another one, doesn't really have a great plot or anything. You just had like some of the funniest people around and caught some of these great moments on film. Like lightning's not going to strike twice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You want to talk about the best comedic actors ever in that era?
Yeah,
I mean, you got Chevy Chase, you got Bill Murray, you got Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. So that was a movie they probably shouldn't have made.
No, definitely not. Then you got Pacific Rim 2. Let me tell you something. Pacific Rim 1, I like a lot. I like monster movies. Pacific Rim 1, I actually thought it looked like crap when they showed the trailer. But I saw Pacific Rim 1. Pacific Rim 1 I liked a lot. Did you see Pacific Rim?
I did. Yeah.
The first Pacific Rim fan, I'm not like say it's like
no. It was definitely a pretty good movie.
But I was, then when they announced the second one, I was like, all right, I'm all in. And went to the theater to see the second one, and there wasn't a monster or a kaiji in it. If it was 2 hours long, the kaiji popped up at about an hour and 50 minutes in. The plot behind it was just so bad. Pacific Rim 2 is actually the bar that I judge. When people say that, like, one of my friends comes and tells me that, like, they saw a bad movie, or I'm saying to them, I saw a bad movie. I'm like, it was bad, but it's not Pacific Rim 2 bad. Like, that's like the bar of which I rate movies.
You know what? What's up, Kristaps Porzingis? Field of Dreams. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You know what? I forgot what I was going. One of my favorite monster movies ever is Cloverfield.
Oh, Cloverfield's awesome.
Cloverfield was awesome.
You like the second one?
I liked the second one, but it was nothing like the first. It was a completely different movie.
The idea behind Cloverfield is supposed to be like almost like a Twilight Zone type thing, where it's like Cloverfield represents like, like the series that you're watching, but each one's totally disconnected from the other.
Yeah, the first Cloverfield, that movie was
awesome. Yeah,
that was a great.
I like the second one a lot too. I'm a big John.
No, I like the second one. It's just not. It's completely different.
Yeah, totally different.
That's the one with John Goodman. The second one.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I love John Goodman, and I mean, I'm a big horror guy too, and I thought second Cloverfield was really good. But yeah, the first one's probably the better of it. So yeah. There was a point in my life where I was watching a lot of found footage movies, like Cloverfield, VHS, like movies that were filmed, like Blair Witch Project, movies that were filmed to look like the real almost. They call them found footage movies.
Right.
Cloverfield's a really good one.
Chad brings up remake Pulp Fiction. Chad, don't ever suggest that again, Chad. that movie is perfect. We're not touching that one.
Chad, what in modern day society is going to enhance Pulp Fiction?
Can't do it. You can't touch that movie.
I don't think there's a single special effect in the whole movie.
You can't touch it. You can't touch it. But what else we got?
Hangover 2 we got to throw in there.
Oh my God, Hangover 2.
2 and 3. Throw them both.
Okay. Hangover 1 is obviously it's a classic. It's definitely a very popular comedic movie. Definitely, when you think of the most popular comedy movies in the last 20 years, it's one of the movies that you think of. The second one is basically the same exact movie. It's just in a different location.
Yeah.
And there was no originality at all.
No, it's just stupid. It's literally people just cashing in on the idea. 100%. Everybody just made a quick cash buy. They're like, what are we going to do in this movie? Like, all right, we'll just take the jokes from the first one and we'll do them again.
Yeah. Hangover 2 was horrible.
Yeah, Hangover 2 sucked. Really bad.
That's one of the most disappointing movies in a while in terms of sequels.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And another one on the list, last one I'll say is I got thrown Speed 2. Speed 1 is one of the best action movies ever made, and then they took out the Keanu and threw it on a cruise ship, and then we got cruise.
Oh God! Oh God! What's going on, Nikki? Thank you for popping the stream. Thank you to everybody for being here. Okay, Speed 2. Okay, so basically for anybody that hasn't seen Speed, the first one stars Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock in her first really her first prominent role. And basically there's a bomb on the bus, and if the bus goes under 55 miles an hour, the bus is going to explode, and it's really good. Really, one of my favorite movies. I love Speed. And then the second one, first off, there's no Keanu Reeves, which is a big problem, and it's on a gigantic cruise ship. It was Cruise Control. I think it was Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Mm-hmm.
Horrific. Another movie they should have never touched.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't take long to ruin that one. I mean, that was only a couple of years after the original too.
Yeah, it was. It's another movie, like you said, it was a cash grab.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, that's just some of the worst ones I was able to think of off the top of my head. I mean, there's plenty more out there. I'm sure there's people writing something somewhere in our comments right now saying that they could think of 10 more. I mean, you can pretty much throw in any of the Freddy Krueger sequels could be thrown in there. Freddy Krueger sequels are really bad. There's not even a good one in.
Yeah, and then in terms of some of the Die Hard 2 wasn't really that good. John says not as good as the original.
Die Hard 5 is terrible.
How many Die Hards have they made now? What have they made, like 10?
5.
Yeah, they've only made 5. I thought they made at least 6. They've only made 5.
No, 5, and most of them are pretty good. Like Die Hard Vengeance is awesome. Live Free or Die Hard was really good. The one with the fire sale and the computers.
Yeah, I like Live Free or Die. I really like Die Hard with a Vengeance. But and then in terms of the good sequels that we were going to rattle off, I mean, they're the popular ones. I mean, you've got Terminator 2, which is a movie that. Go ahead.
Let's talk about these for a second. These five. We're talking sequels. You got to talk about these ones. But yeah, Terminator 2 is definitely up there. There's an argument to be made that Terminator 1 is as good as Terminator 2, but regardless, Terminator 2 has got to be put into the best sequels ever. I mean, Terminator 2 is like the advancements they made in visual effects alone were just out of this world. You never saw nothing like that before Terminator 2.
Yeah. And Jawad says, you mean Die Hard, which it is a Christmas movie, by the way, Jawad. And I'm not familiar with the first 3 Die Hard. Oh, you got to check it out, man. You got to check it out. And Chad says that he feels like did you see Mission Impossible Fallout? I feel like they made the series too much like Fast and the Furious.
They didn't make it like the Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious made it like Mission Impossible.
Well, that's true. But Mission Impossible is much better than Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, Mission Impossible. Don't get me wrong. They have the over-the-top stunts. They got they got the crews flying, like jumping on the side of planes and holding on to them, or doing whatever his crazy stunts are for that movie. Jumping out of an airplane and doing halo jumps and stuff. They got that, but I mean, Mission Impossibles have like very intricate like story. Like it's complex. It's not like simple. Like Fast and Furious. I don't care what you say. Fast and Furious is just like
And Nick, yes, that is my brother. His name's Greg. As far as Terminator 2, though, to me, that movie was more advanced than almost any movie I've ever seen in terms of visual effects. Came out in what, like 91, 92?
91.
And we saw, how many times did we see it in the theaters as kids? I was like 6. I saw it in the theaters.
Yeah, I saw it a couple of times in the theaters as kids.
Yeah.
Great parenting.
Great parenting. But Terminator 2 was incredible. I don't understand the argument for Terminator 1 being as good or better than Terminator 2. I don't think they're close. I'm a huge T2 fan. I think it's one of, if not.
You know what it is though? Terminator 1 in a lot of ways, Terminator 1's like a sci-fi horror movie. Terminator 1 in a lot of ways is like watching Michael Myers or Jason or something like that. It's like, the bad guy's the Terminator. It's the unstoppable force. It just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And then you get to Terminator 2, where Terminator 2 is like a sci-fi action movie. So the very different types of movies. But like the first Terminator definitely introduced the idea. I mean, the second one, the idea of the second one's not like that original. The idea of the first Terminator was really original.
Yeah, well, I'll give it that. And it's very rare that I watch a sequel and I'm like, that was better than the first film. That's one of them. And there's not many where I feel that way, but that was one of them. I
agree, but some people put up the argument the other way. So all I'm saying is you can't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's apples and oranges in a way, like you said. What else you got?
But I'd say the next one on my list that you're going to talk about after that. What'd you say?
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about, I'm going to throw Aliens out there next. Because Aliens, I feel like, is very similar also. The first Alien movie is a horror movie, and the second Alien movie is an action movie. Very similar to the Terminator. I think I prefer Aliens to Alien. I love Alien, don't get me wrong, but I think the second one is definitely the better one. James Cameron comes in, does his thing. You get instead of one alien, you get 50 aliens and a queen at the end.
Yeah, the first Alien, Christian was says Terminator 2 was boring. I don't know what he's talking about, but the first
Somebody said Toy Story 2 does. Yeah, Toy Story 2 could be around the top of that list too.
The first Alien, I think, is a better movie, but Aliens 2 is definitely real. It's still really good. If you haven't seen the Alien series, you definitely should. Sigourney Weaver's fantastic. But the second one's more of an action movie, like you said. The first one's more of a horror movie. But I thoroughly enjoyed both. I liked Aliens. I don't think it's called Alien 2. It's called Aliens. I liked Aliens more when I was a kid because it's just more action. There's more aliens running around. It's really good. I actually prefer the first one more now that I've gone back and watched it. But that was definitely a sequel that was strong. It definitely measured up.
That falls in the category of like how like they, I'm hoping this will happen with Quiet Place, that they realize that the first one they tried not to show the alien that much, and that by doing that it makes it into like a suspenseful horror movie. But after you make a movie like Alien, how do you top that by trying to do the same thing? You don't. In the sequel you go the other way and you show them all the time. You got to figure out something else to do spectacular, which I think James Cameron did. Alien is awesome.
Yeah, Aliens was great. Alien 3 was horrible.
Alien 3 is not as bad as some people make it.
Alien 3 is pretty bad.
Alien 4 is worse.
Alien 4 was probably worse, but Alien 3 was really bad. And that's when the aliens take form of like the dog, right?
Yeah, and they're in the prison.
Yeah, and it wasn't very good. Alien 1 and 2 though were great. And Prometheus was really good.
Prometheus I liked a lot. Prometheus was like it was like a snuck in prequel.
Yeah, nobody
you
knew.
Didn't know going into Prometheus.
Nobody knew.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that Prometheus. I never saw the new Prometheus.
It wasn't too good.
I heard it wasn't very good, but I did like Prometheus. But yeah, I agree with that. I think Aliens 2 was a really strong sequel. I wouldn't say it was better than the original, but it was a really strong sequel.
Yeah, Aliens has got to be there. Why don't you throw one out, Chris? What are some of your top
sequels? I will go. Okay. The Dark Knight. I know a lot of people in here, whoever's still in here, everybody likes The Dark Knight. And the first new Batman of the Christopher Nolan series was really good, but
fantastic. Batman is awesome too. It's still Dark Knight, but it's awesome.
The Dark Knight just took it to another level.
Yeah, Dark Knight definitely took it up. Dark Knight cranked it up like 10 notches.
Heath Ledger just
I was gonna say Heath Ledger.
Tons of suspense, tons of action. You could argue that it's definitely up there for the greatest sequel ever.
Yeah, you can make an argument it's the best sequel ever. I'm not going to say it's the best sequel of all time, but it's definitely on that short list. The Dark Knight. My fiance must watch The Dark Knight once a week. If it's on TV, she leaves it on TV. Dark Knight's just awesome all around. Definitely Heath Ledger's performance steals it, but.
Well, there's so many suspenseful scenes. I'm just thinking back. The scene where they're in the submarine or the boat or whatever it was, and there's just so many suspenseful scenes throughout that entire movie.
The whole movie's great. I'd say the best part's the interrogation scene where Batman and the Joker are in the interrogation room, and Joker, and then that's when you find out the Joker kidnapped Harvey Dent and Rachel Weisz, Bruce Wayne's girlfriend and Harvey Dent's girlfriend. He's got to choose between them.
Yeah. It was absolutely incredible. The third one was good, not nearly as good as The Dark Knight though. So. No. That's another rare case where I don't even think it's disputable that the second one was better than the first, and you don't see that often. So I think that has to qualify as one of the best sequels.
Yeah. But, I'm going to throw in, in my opinion, the greatest movie, the greatest sequel ever made, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, this guy loves Star Wars, and I saw Nikki ask me if I'm going to be live tonight. I am at about 9:00. Talking Giants. I'm going to have some subscribers and YouTubers on. So, yeah, it'll be a roundtable discussion. But, yeah, just wanted to come on. We haven't made a lot of content for the movie channel recently. So, wanted to kind of do a live podcast for you guys and then talk to you guys for a bit afterwards. But, yeah, I knew you were going to say The Empire Strikes Back, as you should.
Empire Strikes Back is the greatest sequel ever made. Yeah. 1977, we got the original Star Wars movie, and everybody in the world didn't think it could be topped. You know how you top it? You top it by introducing Yoda. And I'm your father, okay? Like Empire Strikes Back, greatest twist in the history of movies. The Empire Strikes Back capitalized on everything that we loved about the original Star Wars movie and just brought it back bigger and better. You got the Battle of Hoth at the beginning with the giant walkers and them putting strings around and bring them down. I mean, Empire Strikes Back. You ain't gonna get better than Empire Strikes Back, if you ask me.
That's your favorite Star Wars movie ever?
Oh, definitely. I mean, anybody who says they like Star Wars and says Empire Strikes Back's not the best one, you're not a real Star Wars fan. I'm sorry. You can make an argument for New Hope, Episode 4, but no, Empire. Come on.
Yeah. So that's your number. I like I said, I like Star Wars. I am not a huge Star Wars lover. I'm not going to speak too much on it. It's definitely a great film. All the originals are great. And most people feel like that is the best of the bunch. So yes, that would be on a short list of many people's best sequel of all time. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Let's see what we got here. What's your favorite scene, Greg? Christian says from The Empire Strikes Back.
My favorite scene, definitely Yoda training Luke's got to be up there with the whole entire TIE fighter. X-Wing rather, where he takes it out of the swamp. He'll do there's no tries, do or do not. I mean, that's got to be up there. Obviously, got the lightsaber fight at the end, which climax comes with Luke getting his hand cut off, finding out Vader was his father. And I'm going to say that the fight at the beginning with the walkers and Hoth, any of those three, you put those three right there. Those are the three best scenes. But I mean, the movie's just filled with perfection. So I mean, I'm sure there's one out there that you like better than I do.
Yeah, there's so many great scenes. What's going on, Nate, man? Thanks. But yeah, I don't know why. Everybody was saying before I went live that the notifications aren't going out on YouTube. So anybody that is in here, the 22 people that are in here, I will be live tonight. You might not get the notification on the Entertainment Talking Sports. It will be at 9:00. So if you guys want to come by for that, I'd appreciate it. And thank you guys for hanging out with us today, man. I'm trying to grow this channel and love talking movies. We're going to be doing a lot more modern day movies. That's kind of why we started the show with sequels that we're really looking forward to that are coming out this year, along with a bunch of other movies. I mean, there's a good list of movies that are supposed to come out, but Quiet Place 2 definitely, I think, is both of our most anticipated one. But I saw Home Alone 2. I think Kristaps Porzingis wrote that, or Benjamin might have wrote that.
Home Alone 2 is good, but the original's better. I mean, 2 is just really a remake of 1, really, right? And I prefer old trash can guy to old pigeon lady.
Yeah. Home Alone 2 is definitely enjoyable. It's definitely a good movie. Our neighbor, we said it on the last podcast, was actually the limo driver in that. It's definitely a fun movie. Definitely a classic Christmas movie. Home Alone 3, don't bother. Don't waste your time.
We're talking top sequels. You can't forget to mention Godfather 2. Godfather 2 is probably number 2 behind Empire Strikes Back. You can maybe make an argument for number 1. But Godfather 2, the Godfather. Personally, I prefer Godfather 1 and 2, but it's not.
It's close.
Not by a large margin. And Godfather 2, Godfather 1's a lot more exciting. It's a little bit shorter too. Godfather 1, I think, is just under 3 hours. Godfather 2 is like 3 hours and 40 minutes. And Godfather 2 is definitely a lot more drawn out and stuff, but it's also a lot more complex. Things aren't like spelled out for you the way they are in the first one. I mean, obviously the acting, Pacino, Duvall, Can, all of them, stellar performances in it. But definitely, if you're talking sequels, you can't leave out Godfather 2.
Jake's, and of course, Godfather 2 is epic. I still go with number 1 because of Marlon Brando. But Jake, who he knows I'm a Met fan, so he's kind of trying to dig into me a little bit. He said Greg is a Yankee fan, so anything he likes better is held to a higher standard. So, you know what? I made I say it all the time, guys. I made a very poor choice in my life. And if I go back in time, if we're talking about Back to the Future, if I had a DeLorean, I would go back to about 98, and I would I'd make sure I had a Yankee coat on instead of a Met coat. But I made a poor choice, He's
a Knick fan also.
I'm a Knick fan too, unfortunately. Don't rub it in. But
he's a Giants fan to make up for, right?
Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. Even though
it could have been a lot worse if you were a Jet fan.
Yeah, Giants haven't been making up for me lately, though. They haven't been good since they won their last Super Bowl, but at least I've seen them win 2 championships.
We got those 2 beauties, though, right?
We got those 2 beauties, Eli Manning. Oh, God, we could talk about that for 3 hours. But thank you to everybody for being here. I see Clocks is in here, man. Thanks for being here. What about Chris and Asia? They make a great couple. Oh, Benjamin, yeah. Sure. All right, let's move on from Asia. I'll never forget the quote from the 1972 Godfather, leave the gun, grab the cannolis.
That's actually from the original Godfather. You said, that's your Godfather too. He did say
Godfather 1972.
Yeah.
I mean, it's epic. The movie's epic. It's epic. Obviously, all right. Another sequel we got to talk about. I got to talk about my favorite trilogy. You're going to throw yours in my face. I'm going to throw mine in yours. Lord of the Rings, and technically the sequel's The Two Towers. My favorite is Return of the King. But I say it all the time. I don't view Lord of the Rings really as three separate movies. It's literally a continuation. It's one journey from start to finish. It's not like Star Wars where it gets broken up and there's, you know what I'm saying, where you could really differentiate movies. To me, Lord of the Rings is just one long 9.5, 10-hour movie. But technically, it is a sequel. And my favorite of the three is Return of the King, even though Two Towers probably has the best battle scene, the Helm's Deep battle.
I think Two Towers is the weakest of the three.
I agree with you. And most people don't. Most people actually have Two Towers. A lot of people have it as the best. But I agree with you. I go Return of the King 1, Fellowship 2, and Two Towers 3. But yeah, I mean, Return of the King is my favorite individual movie. I absolutely love it, start to finish. The scene
it's good. It's no Star Wars.
Oh, we're gonna get into the scene at the end, you know, because okay, so basically Frodo's gone on this entire journey, and nobody knows if he's still alive. They're basically sacrificing their lives, willing to go into battle, knowing they're going to die, just on faith. You know, it's
isn't it a little bit of a plot hole that the one thing that they needed to do in order to save the day is get this ring into this volcano, and they leave it with a 2'5"?
But it wouldn't be. But everybody always says they could have used the Eagles. They could have used the Eagles. Yeah, but if you read the book, they explain that. But the whole movie was kind of very loosely based off religion, like faith. You know, things like that. Gandalf kind of being resurrected, right? Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White. But yeah, just the end was just so incredible to me. How they're just willing to just go into battle, knowing they're going to die, just to give Frodo the opportunity to. And they don't even know if Frodo's alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say at that point, how do they even know Frodo's alive?
They don't. There's not like cell phones back then.
Frodo should have been dead 15 minutes into the first movie. Frodo is a 2'5" nothing. Going up against, I don't know what, spiders and dragons.
But that's what makes the movie great. That's what makes the movie great.
It's like the ultimate Rocky story.
It is. It's just a fantasy movie. It's incredible. And then of course they do what they do. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely love Return of the King. The battle scenes are incredible. The story is incredible. My favorite of the three. But like I said, it's really just one movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. One okay movie.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Frodo is smaller than Frodo. First off, I'm not that small. All right, Greg could testify to this. And yes, I know he's just a great supporter of mine, but this is a movie stream. Greg could testify to this. People, for some reason, since I've been on YouTube, have thought that I'm small.
He's not small. I mean, he's not that small. What, 5'4"?
Oh my God! Now you're gonna play into it. People have said, "Oh, Chris, what are you? 4'11", 5'2"? Guys, I'm a legitimate 5'10", 5'10.5". Greg's a little.
I like 5'11", probably. I would guess.
Maybe 5'11". How you're 6?
Say you're 6 foot. Say you're 6 foot.
I'm gonna say I'm 6 foot. I give myself an extra 1.5 inches. You're about 6 foot, right?
Yeah, right around there, something like that.
Greg's probably got about maybe a 1/2 inch to an inch. I mean, we're not talking about. We're talent, but in the height department. But yeah, guys, I'm not that short. I promise you, I'm not that short. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Second movie. What's up, Slurpee? Thanks for popping into the stream, man. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for being here. I appreciate it. And were there any other sequels that we kind of wanted to talk about? We talked about Terminator. We talked about Lord of the Rings. We talked about The Dark Knight. We talked about Godfather. We talked about Star Wars.
I think we hit the big majors. I think we hit the big majors. Yeah, Aliens you talked about. Yeah.
I mean, and if we want to go down bad sequels, there's so many of them. We didn't even get into cartoons.
I mean, there's other good sequels too. I mean, like we were saying before, you could throw Die Hard Vengeance on there. I'm sure you could throw. There's other good sequels out there. I was just going down. I was just listing off a couple of my favorites.
How about Lethal Weapon?
Oh, Lethal. I mean, I like all the Lethal Weapons, to be honest with you. The best one after the first is probably the second. Probably go second, third, fourth. Actually, I was watching Lethal Weapons the other day. I like the Lethal Weapons a lot.
The first one's great. I mean, the first one I go back, I could watch it and still thoroughly enjoy it.
First one is the best action Christmas movie ever made.
Well, yeah, Die Hard is, but it is a great movie. The ultimate, cop movie. The complete opposite, partners that have, it's great. It's just a great movie. But yeah, the second one's really good too, though, because then you get Joe Pesci.
Yeah, exactly. What Leo wants, Leo gets.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's another good one as well. But yeah, we'll definitely answer some of you guys' questions. We'll hang out for a little bit longer. I just want to say thank you to all you guys for hanging out and checking out the channel. Thank you guys for being great supporters. I really appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. Man, the Lethal Weapons were so good, but yeah. Oh well, Mel Gibson, yeah, with the whole, yeah, he's a nut job. But
I love Mel Gibson. I don't care.
Mel Gibson is an actor. Well, yeah, my favorite actor is Tom Cruise. I said all the time, the guy's a whack job off the screen, but I could differentiate the two. But yeah, Mel Gibson is a great actor.
You know how many great movies Mel Gibson came out with before they went and ruined his career with everybody complaining?
Yeah, he's made plenty. I mean, Braveheart is an epic movie, Best Picture '93, I think. The Patriot was good. I mean, he's made a lot of great
Conspiracy Theory.
Conspiracy Theory with Julia Roberts. That was great.
Or Ransom.
Ransom, yes. Maverick. Yeah. How about Maverick?
Maverick, exactly. Yeah, Mel Gibson's got so many good movies. Mel Gibson, man. He also made Apocalypto. Apocalypto was awesome also. Passion of the Christ was awesome.
Passion of the Christ was awesome?
I like Passion of the Christ.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
It's probably the only thing religious I'm into. Passion of the Christ is good.
There's another horrible sequel. JC brings up there. And what's going on? Noah, thanks for popping in the street. Oh, Born Supremacy.
Born Supremacy is really good.
Ooh, Sonora hit with.
I would say the third one's the better one, though. The Born Ultimatum. I think.
They're all really good.
Yeah,
that's great.
I tried to watch Jason Bourne last night, like the fifth one, the fourth one with Matt Damon. That one's not too good.
Yeah, but the Bourne series is great.
Yeah.
Exorcist 2 was horrible. There's another one.
Exorcist 2 is real bad.
Yeah, there's another one. The Exorcist might be, to some people, the greatest horror movie ever.
You know what I watched recently that I'd never seen before that was actually a much better sequel than I thought it was going to be was Psycho 2. The original sequel to Psycho might have a better ending than the original Psycho.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I got to go back and I don't know if I've ever seen
actually says that. Quentin Tarantino, he says it all the time. He says that Psycho 2's got a better twist than Psycho 1.
I got to go watch it. If I have seen it, I haven't seen it since.
Psycho 2's good. Psycho 2 is really good.
Psycho 2 is really good?
I mean, the payoff at the end is really good.
I'm going to have to check it out. Maybe I'll watch that tonight.
I won't ruin it for you, but it's definitely it's pretty good.
I'm going to have to check it out. Let's see what we got here. Baywatch with The Rock. I never saw Baywatch with The Rock. I didn't.
Toy Story 2 is also another one of those sequels.
Toy Story 3 is the best one.
He's bringing up The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Yeah, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of those movies. Fistful of Dollars and stuff. But apparently you are, Vigi, so I'm proud of you.
What's going on, Afghanistan? He says The Exorcist 2, The Heretic was not a good film, but I must admit it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Well, we have plenty of guilty pleasures of ours. I mean, Greg likes Looper, for God's sakes. What's going on, Landon? Thanks for popping into the stream. He says, do you guys like DC or Marvel?
Is that a real question? I don't know how you compare DC to
I'll tell you what. There's a lot of people that I talk to on YouTube that prefer DC. I don't get why.
They're idiots.
No, don't say that. Everybody's got their own opinion. But to me, Marvel's it's not close. Marvel's on another level.
Somebody's asking about The Color of Money. The Color of Money is a really good sequel to The Hustler. It's not The Hustler.
Color of Money. There's another.
Color of Money is really good. Yeah, Paul Newman, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Young Cruise.
That is a great. That was like the early '80s. That was a really good one where you're playing pool.
Yeah. The Hustler. The Hustler's better, but Color of Money is definitely really good. I think The Color of Money is what Paul Newman finally got an Academy Award for. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what he finally won his Academy Award for.
What's going on, Dire Giants fan? Thanks for popping in the stream. Great supporter of mine. Thank you for being here, buddy. And Nate, oh God, Nate gave a good one because I didn't really like the original.
Which one were you talking about?
Angels and Demons was a really good sequel.
Yeah, I mean, Angels and Demons was a decent movie. It's just really good because it's coming off of the Da Vinci Code, which sucked. And the third one was even worse.
I liked Angels and Demons. I actually thought Angel Demons was good.
Angels and Demons was pretty good, yeah. But
there's an example where the sequel was much better than the first.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But the first one, I was so excited because I read Angel and Demons also, but I read the Da Vinci Code, and like a week after I finished, it was back when you worked in the movie theaters. And a week after I finished reading, I was walking through the mall where you used to work, and they had a poster for a Da Vinci Code, and I was so excited for it. I just finished the book. I was fired up, and then on the top of the poster, just to get me more fired up, it said Tom Hanks. and I was so in for the Da Vinci Code. I was so ready for it. And the book, like when you read one of those books, the chapters are like 2 or 3 pages long. So it's kind of like when you're reading it, it's kind of like when you finish a chapter, it feels like you finished a scene. So like when you're reading it, like this is going to be such a good movie. Like this, like Tom Hanks, this book can't go wrong. And then I remember walking out of the movie theater. I was so upset with the movie. I was so upset.
I saw JC ask, name your top 5 Bruce Willis movies.
Die Hard
yeah.
3.
Well, all right, let's just say just Die Hard is 1.
Die Hard's 1. Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense is great.
Sixth Sense has got to be in there.
Maybe the greatest. We were talking about Twist. There's a movie that might have the greatest.
Yeah, it's definitely up there in the top few Twists. But
you gotta go back and watch that.
You got Pulp Fiction in his top 5.
Pulp Fiction, definitely.
So that's 3 out of 5 knockdown right there. I mean, what else are you gonna put up there?
I'm trying to think of.
You know what? I'm putting Looper up there. That's 4 for me. Looper 100% is up there. Looper could be his best one.
Oh, stop.
I don't understand your disliking of the movie Looper.
All right. I'm trying to think of some. I'd have to see his IMDb page to really think about it because he made that 18 or 16 Blocks movie. I thought that was pretty good, but I know that's not
good. I don't think that goes into that.
Yeah. What other Bruce Willis movies? Sin City.
Oh yes, Sin City possibly. Oh, let me bring up his IMDb. There's definitely a couple of big ones we're forgetting about in there. Well, let me see what pops up here.
Sin City's got to be up there.
I love Sin City. Sin City might be the one. Definitely possible.
Chris, you should watch Neil Bean's movie. What's up with Greg Sinor? Greg loves Looper. He loves it. It's a movie that we
Looper's fan-fucking-tastic.
That's a movie that me and Greg disagree with big time on.
Oh yeah.
He thinks it's one of the greatest movies, and I think it's
one of the most original movies in the past 20 years. Definitely.
And I am not a fan of the movie at all. So that's a movie that we disagree with.
And clearly, I'm right, and he's wrong on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Sin City as the last one. I'm looking at this. I mean, like the whole 9 yards I liked and stuff. What about Bandits? I like Bandits.
Bandits was good. Bandits was good.
Really good. Bandits is definitely a really, really good one.
That's with Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob. I love Billy Bob. Little Billy Bob. Or even The Siege. Remember The Siege with
The Siege was enjoyable.
Yeah, Siege is a good one. Jackal.
Jack Black's in I think it's the first scene in that movie.
Jack Black's like the guy who like helps him make something. He kills Jack Black.
He does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Fifth Element. I'm not a Fifth Element fan. 12 Monkeys.
That's a good one.
Really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a solid entry. I'd say that pretty much wraps it up for him. But I mean, it's probably gonna be I don't know.
Chris, Greg, Patriot game.
What about Armageddon? Greatest movie ever made, right?
Armageddon. You know what? Armageddon is definitely my top 6 or 7. I liked Armageddon. And maybe you want to call it a guilty pleasure. I like Armageddon. I think it's
definitely a guilty pleasure. It is for me too. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy Armageddon. But Armageddon's a bad movie.
Yeah. Prox is the bad. What do you guys think? What do you guys think will do the Avengers alternative universe? Jawad ask.
Avengers has got a long, steep path ahead of them, considering they lost out on everybody that pretty much would draw us into the. Well, not everybody. I mean, you still got some of the originals, but I hope it's good. I hope the Avengers does what it needs to do. It looks like they're going to go into that whole multiverse thing. You know, the name of the new Doctor Strange movie is the multiverse.
JC hit on it, by the way. I've mentioned it in prior streams. I don't know how I didn't think of it.
Lucky number 7. Yeah, it's good. Lucky number 7 is really good. I really like Lucky number 7. I'm not gonna say it's in Bruce Willis' top 5 though.
Lucky number 7 is awesome. And Clock says Chris Greg, Patriot Game was a great sequel to The Hunt for Red October. Alec Baldwin turned it down. Patriot. Oh, I didn't know. Was that was the sequel to Hunt for Red October?
They all fall in that what's his face used to write it? Are they John Grisham? Right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, those are both. Step Brothers is great. Jesse Cohen.
Step Brothers is good. Step Brothers isn't as good as some other Will Ferrell movies.
I love Step Brothers. Boats and Hoes. Prestige Worldwide. What's not to like about Step Brothers?
I mean, there's nothing I dislike about Step Brothers. I'm just gonna say there's better Will Ferrell movies.
I never saw that. I've never heard of that show, John. No. Never heard of that show. Have you heard of the show Moonlighting Strangers? It starred Bruce Willis. I've never heard of it.
No, I haven't. I mean, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, though.
Yeah. James Bond or Jason Bourne? Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not say James Bond on this. First off, the best James Bond movies, the Bourne movies, don't even come close to. Like Casino Royale, like the Bourne movies aren't nearly as good as Casino Royale was. And
you're gonna hate me for saying this, and maybe a lot of people in the chat are gonna hate me for saying this.
Here we go.
And I'm not talking about old James Bond. I'm talking about James Bond since I've been alive. I'm talking about Daniel Craig.
A lot of bad James Bonds. Yes,
I'm talking about Daniel Craig. I'm talking about Pierce Brosnan. Those James Bonds. And if you're telling me in my era, I'm taking Ethan Hunt above James Bond. I'm taking Jason Bourne above James Bond.
Here we go.
I'll tell you, and I agree that Casino Royale is a great movie.
Casino Royale is better than any of those movies you just named.
I'm taking the Mission Impossible series since I've been alive, and I'm taking the Bourne series since I've been alive over James Bond.
Well, the Mission Impossible series since you've been alive be in existence without Sean Connery and Goldfinger.
Well, but I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about in my era.
I'm saying, I mean, it's kind of hard to say that. It's really hard to say that those are better when they're basically just ripoffs of James Bond.
I got to be honest, man. I love
the Mission Impossible movies. Don't get me wrong. I love the Mission Impossible movies. Not as much as you. I don't go home and think about them when I'm alone in the shower and stuff like that.
That's my opinion. I get that James Bond is the guy, the original. You know, I get
some of the best sequels of all time too. I mean, James Bond movies considered to be sequels, because you probably throw a few of those in there. Like my opinion, Casino Royale is awesome.
Casino Royale is great.
That's Skyfall. Those two.
Jake says Ethan Hunt and Bourne are great, but they are not James Bond.
Exactly. See, he knows what we're talking about.
Listen. I'm a huge fan of some of the James Bond. Here's the thing with James Bond.
Bad James Bond movie.
But that's what I'm going to say. Here's the thing with James Bond. For me, the Bourne movies never disappointed.
Oh, yeah? Oh, no?
For the most part.
The fourth and fifth one?
Okay. I'm talking about the core three after the book. They didn't disappoint. Outside of Mission Impossible 2, Ethan Hunt never disappointed me. There have been a lot of James Bond flops. And I know that they've made a lot of movies.
Like 25 of them now or something like that? The 25th one's about to come out.
Yeah. And I get it. I get it. It's the classic character. People want to go with James Bond. I get it. I'm not going to argue it. But I'm going to tell you my opinion. Of course, Mets fan says it. can't. Oh God, what's going on, Cushmaster? Thanks, Cushmaster. We have not gotten to the Stoner movies yet, so you didn't miss on anything yet. We haven't gotten to the Stoner movies just yet. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. But thank you to everybody for being here. Yeah, go ahead, ask your questions. We'll talk about some sequels, whatever. We'll hang out. What time is it now, Greg?
We got 4:22. I got about another 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. Cushmaster must have came in at 4:20.
Well, there's a fucking surprise.
What do you guys feel about John Wick? Okay.
John Wick is freaking incredible. Okay. I love the Wicks. My brother, it took you a while to get onto the Wicks, right?
I am all about John Wick.
Yeah, but originally you weren't. You never actually to watch the Wicks.
I did not watch it for a while. And
the Wicks are where it's at. I mean, is there a more ultimate guy movie than John Wick 1? Is there? What's the plot of the movie? They come in, they kill my dog, they take my car, they kill my dog, and now they're all gonna die. I'm gonna go out and go on a 150-man killing spree right now with nothing but this pencil. That's John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick is literally, it's like a throwback to like the movies when we were growing up as kids.
You know what makes John Wick really cool? This is what makes John Wick really cool. The fact that when you're watching the scenes, you know it's Keanu Reeves or whoever's in the scene doing it, because they use these really long cuts with no editing, where it's just one long take, and you see them like laying down these fights. They clearly choreographed for weeks leading up to it and trained and stuff, as opposed to like the action movie. Don't get me wrong, I like these action movies, but when you're watching a Face Off or whatever, like the Con Air, any movies from the 90s, the way the action scenes are filmed is you see one guy sitting there, the camera's on one guy who's pulling the trigger, and then it cuts to 3 other guys getting shot by the bullet, as opposed to having it all on the screen at the same time, which is a lot more complex. But when you do it that way, it makes it a lot cooler. And John Wick just does that all 3 movies for the whole 3 movies. There's no break.
Yeah, there's no let up with John Wick.
John Wick's I can't. And the John Wick 4 is coming out in 2 years.
Wow. I'll tell you what, man. There's another guy Like we talked about on the last podcast, that guy knows how to pick his roles.
Exactly. Keanu, I mean, Neo and John Wick. I mean, I wouldn't even, if I saw Keanu Reeves in real life, I'd be scared to even look at the guy at this point.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Jack Reacher, good or bad? Okay, I'm going to tell you what. I hold Tom Cruise to a very high standard.
I'm not a big Jack Reacher fan.
Jack Reacher.
You want to talk about bad Tom Cruise movie? Jack
I don't
Reacher.
No. It's not
the second one. The second one?
It was all right. It was all right.
It sucked. Chris.
It was all right. It was all right.
Come down to reality here. Jack Reacher 2 was a bad Tom Cruise movie.
Here's what I'll say. Jack Reacher, I think because I automatically just compare it to Ethan Hunt and the Mission Impossible, it doesn't compare to that. But Jack Reacher was a pretty good movie. I could sit through it. I could watch it. I could enjoy it.
Second one?
I wouldn't even say it was really good, the first one. It was good. But it just doesn't compare.
I looked at Tom Cruise in his biceps for 2 hours and you were happy.
Yeah. What is your favorite? 9 o'clock, Nate? I'm gonna be live. What is your favorite Keanu Reeves movie?
It's probably John Wick. I don't know. I kind of prefer the third with John Wick.
So I gotta go Matrix.
Yeah, that's right. True. The Matrix.
I gotta go Matrix.
Yeah, probably first Matrix. That's probably true, actually.
And I really like.
I prefer the Wicks to the Matrixes. Like, if you're going to talk about, if you have to watch a series of movies, give me the 3 John Wicks over the 3 Matrixes.
Yeah, but as an individual movie, I gotta go with the original Matrix.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
The original Matrix was.
Is there a John Wick? Is there a John Wick 1 without a Matrix 1?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
Probably not.
If it's not for Matrix 1, Keanu Reeves is just the guy on the bus that can't slow down.
Well, but Speed was really good. Speed was really good.
I love Speed. And Keanu Reeves got other good movies too. I shouldn't take that away from him. But I think that before you got to the Wicks, definitely the Matrix was Matrix is a movie that showed he could do the Wicks with the kung fu and the fighting and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Matrix was great. Bill and Ted. Oh God, Bill and Ted.
I like Bill and Ted's. I mean, I'm not first Bill and Ted I like. Second one not so good. Bogus Journey you can keep. First one, Excellent Adventure, really good.
Yeah. What's going on, Andy Garcia, man? Thanks for popping in with the Dolphin. Tom Cruise. Yes, Tom Cruise is definitely my man crush. I'll never hide that. Like I've said in previous podcasts or live streams, Tom Cruise is the New York Yankees of the movie industry. He really is. He really is. Because like the people who are New York Yankee fans, like he's like the most popular guy, like over the course of time, right? From like 1980 to present day. And he's kind of like the Clint Eastwood of his era. Like he's the movie star, right? And he's a guy that you either love or you absolutely hate. And that's kind of like the New York Yankees. He's kind of like the New York Yankees of the movie industry.
You say so.
You don't think that's a fair comparison?
I mean, I guess you could say it's a fair comparison. They're both winners. They're both not the Mets.
Yeah. Jack Black would probably be the Mets of the movie.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Jack Black or some extra in a movie. Harrison Ford, the greatest actor ever. Harrison Ford's great.
Harrison Ford's amazing. I mean, Harrison Ford's stuff. I think he might be the only person with 3 franchises under his belt, 3 successful franchises with Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Blade Runner.
Yeah. And Chris Master says thoughts on Point Break. I
actually tried watching Point Break for the first time recently. I couldn't do it.
That's Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves, the surfing movie. They go on like Heist. Him and Swayze.
Yeah. I saw that movie, but it was so long ago. I don't remember it very well. But I
tried watching it recently. I couldn't really get into it.
I did see it. Here's a question I have for you, Greg, because they were asking me this in my Discord, and I honestly can't come up with a number. All right. Now, I don't know how you want to count this. Do you want to count this as – there's 2 ways to count this. They asked me how many movies have you seen in your lifetime, and there's 2 ways to count this. You can either go by each individual movie you've seen, or you can count the amount of times you've watched movies. In fact,
let's say I turn into a movie, I turn on HBO and I don't know, whatever's on, Goodfellas is on, but it's 2/3 of the way through the movie and I only watched the last third. Does that count as a whole viewing?
Well, that's true too. All right, so let's just go by individual movies. If you had to guess, how many movies do you think you've seen in your life? You're 32.
Lots.
Yeah.
365 days in a year. I've definitely seen like tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands?
I'm gonna say, yeah.
No. Each movie's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
That means every 12 movies is a day of your life. So if you've seen 1,200, you've used a day of your life watching movies.
Easily.
But you're saying tens of thousands. So if you use 12,000, that means 10 years, 1/3 of you. That just doesn't add up.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. All right. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. Okay. So let's call it then like 3,000.
You think you've seen 3,000 movies?
I don't know, because I'm the type of person who actually rewatches movies a lot. So maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. It's impossible to estimate that.
What's up? What's going on, Rogue Dog? Guys, popping in. Have we seen 21 Jump Street? Of course. All right. Yeah. Favorite baseball movie? Dyard says I got to go with 42. I've seen Field of Dreams being thrown out there. Major League is great. Major League's my favorite.
Major League, I love.
Yeah.
I like For Love of the Game. People forgot about that. Remember For Love of the Game?
For Love of the Game is as well. The Perfect Game, Detroit Tigers.
I like that one.
I liked it a lot because he was going against the Yankees.
Well, yeah.
But no, Sandlot's great. Major League is definitely my favorite though because of its rewatchability. It's hysterical.
Yeah, Major League's so funny.
But Field of Dreams is definitely a classic. You know, there's some. The Natural's a good one.
Yeah, Natural's really good. 42, like he said. 42, that's really good.
Yeah, 42 was great. Definitely.
Also, what was the one about the home run race? Roger Maris and
61.
61, yeah.
Yeah, HBO made that. What's going on, Jay, man? Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you for popping in. Bad News Bears was really good. Yeah, there's so many great baseball movies. So many great baseball movies. What's the other one that we were talking about the other day with Keanu Reeves, where the kid gets killed? Hardball. That was pretty good. It was pretty good. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Debbie does Dallas. That is that's not a baseball movie, but if you're into that type of stuff, that was before high definition, so you probably could get a better product nowadays. But yeah, that's a movie back in the day. The Scout was good. How about The Fan?
The Fan's good. Robert De Niro, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes used to be a guilty pleasure of yours too, also. But
Wesley Snipes is great.
Yeah, not
Blade, Demolition Man. Wesley Snipes is great. Passenger 57.
Yeah, he's got a couple of good ones in there.
Moneyball is another great baseball movie.
Moneyball is definitely a good one.
Favorite bank robber movies. I'm going to give you a.
This isn't even a question. No, what do you think is the best bank robbery movie of all time?
No, this is the first movie that popped in my head. I'm not saying it's probably a movie a lot of people haven't seen. We both love. But I'll say some others. Ocean's 11's a popular one. The first one that popped in my head, and I know it's probably not going to be the best. I love The Score.
Score's good.
With Robert De Niro and Edward Norton.
And Marlon Brando.
It was actually Marlon Brando's last movie he ever made. The Score is friggin' awesome. And Edward Norton in that movie is incredible.
Yes. But I'd say that if you're talking heist movies, the best, and it's not even close. Not even close, is Heat.
Heat is awesome. Elite. Heat is awesome. Heat is definitely awesome.
And I think that since Heat came out, every heist movie has pretty much been a little bit of a rip-off of Heat.
Yeah.
One's actually pretty good that I never gave a shot to, but I finally did. And you gotta watch the whole movie, like down to the last possible second to appreciate it. Is Den of Thieves. Did you watch Den of Thieves? Never
seen that.
Den of Thieves. It's on Netflix now. Den of Thieves. Like I did, for years I didn't watch it, and then I watched it. Den of Thieves is really good, but at the same time, it's a Heat ripoff. But it's really good.
How about The Town? Somebody brought that up.
Oh, Town's awesome. The
Town was really good.
Town's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, the Town's a really good one. That's a good one. Bank Job. Yes, I love my Statham.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bank Job all day. Love that movie.
Who wins in a fight straight up? Statham or Cruise?
Oh, Statham.
Statham beats Cruise?
Yeah, in a fight? Yeah, Statham.
Cruise? Statham beat the Meg.
Yeah, Statham's a beast.
Statham actually beat 2 Megs.
Yeah, you could beat 3 if you wanted him to. Jay says, remember Fear Strikes Out, Anthony Perkins, and Carl Mal. I've never heard of that one, Jay. Jay's one of my older subscribers. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah,
maybe I'll check that out. Bank robber movies, Die Hard. Who said we were terrorists? Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think of other. Home Alone technically is a robber movie.
It's not a heist movie.
but technically it involves thievery. Technically, I'm trying to think of other heist movies.
Inside Man.
Inside Man was really good.
Inside Man's awesome.
Nonstop with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's awesome. Yeah, Statham is a badass. Is right. Everything that guy touches is great. Let's see what we got here. Diard says, "What's up, Krista?" Yeah. By the way, I want to say thank you again. Are you and Bad Dog close? I mean, we literally work with each other every week. So yeah, I'd probably at this point consider him a close friend. I mean, we literally talk to each other twice a week, every week, live for a couple of hours. So yeah, I would say so. Does The Italian Job count as a heist movie? Greg, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, definitely. It counts as a heist movie. It's probably in like the top 15 or so. But
that's a good one.
Yeah, Italian Job's good. Definitely a heist movie. 100% a heist movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like League of Their Own's a great baseball movie. Forgot about that. Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. League of Their Own, Tom Hanks. Yeah. There's no crying in baseball.
Okay, Die Hard says Taken is a good trilogy. Here's what I'll say, Die Hard.
A good trilogy?
Here's what I'll say. The first Taken is great.
Yeah, first Taken's good.
After that, it's kind of like The Hangover. It's just kind of like redundant.
In the third Taken, isn't the plot that he gets taken and he has to save himself? Isn't that the plot of the third Taken movie? Like,
I don't even remember. I just remember thinking but the first Taken is really good. But
Taken's good. Taken's actually, I didn't like the Taken as much originally as I do now. I don't know. Maybe I was just hating on it because of all the buzz around it when it came out. But I've watched Taken recently, and yeah, Taken's definitely.
Taken's awesome. The first one. Let's see what we got here. Chris occasionally indulges in adult movies where yeah, Benjamin. Yeah. Chris Vesta says, "Did you all ever watch the Blade movies?" Yes. Like I was saying, I was a huge
Blade 1 and 2 are great. Blade Trinity sucked.
Steven Dorff was a really underrated villain. I thought he was really good in that first Blade.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I thought he was really good in that first Blade. Blade 2 was really good. Like you said, Blade 3 was just stupid with Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, the Blade's definitely a trilogy. I should say the first two you should check out. Definitely a very enjoyable vampire Marvel type movie for sure.
Back before vampires were cool, also. A little bit of racism underneath there because back when Blade was doing the cool vampire thing, nobody cared. Then all of a sudden Twilight comes out.
Yeah, how does that work? And I get the girl aspect of it, right? Because girls like the love story with what was the love story, I guess, right? I didn't see Twilight, but I know it was kind of like a love story, I think. But like, how does that garner more popularity than Blade? Blade was awesome.
I wish I had an answer for you.
Yeah, I don't get it. Biggest disappointment as a part 3 and final in the trilogy. The Godfather part. Yeah, I agree. Jay, we talked about that earlier.
The Godfather 3 is definitely up there. I mean, there's a lot of really bad third entries. Matrix 3 sucked. Pirates of the Caribbean 3 sucked.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Brandon asks, how about I was bored the other night because I was looking up the worst movies ever made. And he says, what about the M. Night Shyamalan trilogy? We'll talk about that first. Glass, Split, Unbreakable. Split's by far the best. Unbreakable's really good. Glass, not so much. But I was looking up the worst movies ever made because sometimes I'm interested to see just how like if I will agree with the public opinion. Like I know they're going to be bad before I watch it, but I want to just see how bad it is. And I watched, what was the M. Night Shyamalan movie with Mark Wahlberg again? The Happening?
Oh, yeah.
That might be the worst movie I've ever seen. That might legitimately be the worst movie I've ever seen. And if you want to see the worst movie you've ever seen, I highly suggest checking out The Happening. It was that bad. It was that bad. And I don't even want to give away the plot because I want you to see how bad the plot is. That movie, Greg, you've seen it?
I don't think I saw the whole thing. I've never seen parts of it, though.
You have to watch it. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
He's got a lot of bad ones.
It's absolutely fantastic how bad that movie is.
Maybe I'll have to give it a look.
Yeah. My girlfriend made me watch 50 Shades of Grey. I've never watched. I've never had the pleasure of watching it.
50 Shades. My girlfriend's obsessed with it.
But yeah, I real quick. Basically, what The Happening is about is at the beginning of the movie, it's kind of like a mystery. You see all these people dying and they're killing themselves. They're jumping off buildings. They're stabbing themselves in the head. And I'm like, all right, that looks like how could this be the worst movie ever? At least that's somewhat of an interesting plot, like trying to figure out why all these people are killing themselves, right? And the movie's going along, blah, 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 blah. And all these people keep killing themselves. And it's this huge news story. It's only happening in the Northeast. It's not really happening out West. And they're trying to figure out what is doing this. In the end, I'm not going to give it away. I can't give it away. But it is the dumbest idea ever. M. Night Shyamalan really missed the mark with that movie. It was beyond stupid. Let's see what we got. National Treasure is phenomenal.
National Treasure is awesome. Yeah, I love National Treasure.
Jawad says, do a list of bad movies in your next vid. I could do plenty of those. That would be at the top of it. Mr. Mom is a comedy classic with Michael Keaton. I saw Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom was good.
Mr. Mom? So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Mr. Mom was good. Yeah. How about remakes, guy? Yeah, we were talking about remakes earlier. What's up, Harrison? Harrison, man. One of my best, man. Thank you for popping in the stream. I appreciate it, man. Just one example of a failed one. The Manchurian Candidate remake with Denzel stinks. I don't know if I ever saw it.
It stinks. It's not as good as the original, though.
I don't know if I ever saw that one. I remember when it came out. I don't know if I ever saw it.
The original's way better.
Yeah, The Professional is fantastic. Best Batman film besides The Dark Knight. I'll let you answer that, Greg.
Probably Batman 1989 with Jack Nicholson. Both of them Jokers.
You think that's the second Knight?
Either that or Superman vs. Batman.
Oh God. Superman vs. Batman. That's one of the worst movies.
Definitely the Burton ones.
Yeah, you go with the original as the second best ever?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that movie's great. It's just a different type of Batman, but it's great.
Yeah.
Top 3 Denzel movies. Go. All right, one from each Training Day.
Yeah, Training Day.
I don't even got to think twice.
I love Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide is really good with Gene Hackman.
Real good, yeah. Him and Gene Hackman, I really like that one a
lot. John Q's good, but I don't think it's going to be in my top 3. I know you love The Hurricane.
Yeah, but I don't know if I put it in his top 3. I mean,
The Bone Collector.
Yeah, but The Bone Collector cheats. The Bone Collector is a movie that cheats. Like, at the end, and you find out who the killer is, it's somebody that you could never possibly guess. There's absolutely no way of figuring it out before. I hate when, like, Knives Out, I feel like, did that last year also. I
like Knives Out.
Yeah, I like Knives Out, too, but the twist at the end of Knives Out was something you couldn't figure out without information that you were given in the last 15 minutes of the movie. And it's like, what's the point of making a murder mystery if you're not going to be able to give me a fighting chance to figure it out?
What's some other good? I mean, like I said,
Remember the Titans?
Remember the Titans is really good.
But Philadelphia Glory.
Yeah, Philadelphia is really good. I've got to have, like I said, Training Day's 1. I think Hunt for Red October's 2. I mean, that's the type of movie every time.
October? You're talking about Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide. I mean, I'm sorry.
Crimson Tide's awesome.
Every time I watch Crimson Tide, it's better. James Gandolfini was in that.
Yeah, so was Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, so was Viggo Mortensen. That movie's awesome. So yeah. I would say that's second for me, actually.
Malcolm X is up there. Equalizer's not up there. Equalizer's good, but it's not his best.
Equalizer's fun. It's a good movie. But Training Day's far and away the best.
Yeah.
Like, he was amazing in that movie.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Yeah. Name a movie that made you all shed a tear. Mine was Toy Story 3. Lord of the Rings 3, Return of the King. I was upset that the series was over.
Movie that made you shed a tear? The movie Awakenings. You ever see that? Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. That's a really sick.
I don't think I saw that. I don't think I've seen that one. So that's yours, Awakening?
That's a sad one. Yeah, Awakening. Awakening is awesome. But what's that one that came out a couple of years ago with Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper?
Oh yeah, that's a tearjerker. And what's going on, OGR Sports? Glad to see you.
Oh man, my fiance.
A Star is Born. It's called. Right? You hear me, Greg?
Yeah, Star is Born.
A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga. That was definitely a tearjerker. That was a remake.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's a remake of a remake.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. The only movie that gives you no clues about a killer and does it well is Seven. Seven's awesome.
Yeah, seven's like a different type of thing. Seven's not like, I don't know. Like you're watching a Bone Collector, you're legitimately in there trying to figure out which one of these characters that you've been introduced to are the killer. Seven's not like that. The Bone Collector is like that. And then the Bone Collector, like Bone Collector I love too. Like it cheats. It cheats.
Bone Collector's great. The Accountant was the Accountant. Is that who's in that?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. The one with Ben Affleck. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Accountant's really good. I like.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was good. Definitely good. Let's see what we got here. Chris, you love Lord of the Rings more than anybody I know. I'm very concerned. I don't think so, Benjamin.
Do you have more love for Lord of the Rings or for Cruise?
Oh, Cruise.
More than Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. But no, I mean, Lord of the Rings is definitely a movie that
Lord of the Rings have been better with Cruise.
No, actually, no. He would have ruined it. It's not his type of movie. But Lord of the Rings is definitely a movie with hardcore fans.
Oh yeah, I like Lord of the Rings too. Don't get me twisted. It just me and him had this 2-decade-old argument about Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, and
yeah, it's definitely
ridiculous that he would even try to make the argument for Lord of the Rings on that one.
I don't think it's ridiculous at all. You guys see the Pride of St. Louis? But I have not seen that. I have not seen that. I like Get Out. Oh, Get Out was much better than Us.
That's fantastic. I liked Us too. Don't get me. I liked actually. You know, Get Out's definitely better than two. But when I went to see Us, I went to see it in a movie theater by myself.
Well, don't ruin it in case people haven't seen it.
All right, I won't. That never mind.
Because that's like a new movie.
Yeah.
But Get Out is Get Out was awesome. They both were good, but Get Out was better.
Thoughts on The Purge? I love The Purge. Like I like the idea of The Purge. There's definitely some really bad Purge movies. I actually think the first Purge is one of the worst ones. I think Election Year was the really good one.
Yes. The Purge is definitely an underrated.
The idea behind The Purge, I like. Like I love horror movies. I'm a huge horror movie guy, and I like the idea behind The Purge. I pretty much like anything that's made from Blumhouse. To be honest with you, because Blumhouse made The Purges, made The Invisible Man.
So Greg, you like the idea of people being able to kill people whenever they want.
I don't like the idea. Like I wish it would.
Well, that's what you just said. That's what
I said was I like the idea for a movie, for a concept for a movie. It's a cool idea.
Yeah. Maybe lead with that next time because I don't want people to think that you want to kill people. Let's see what we got here. Man on Fire, definitely a great Denzel movie. I forgot about that one. Definitely great. Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. That was fun. That was a funny movie. Definitely a funny movie. I not one that I ever think of, but it was definitely a funny movie.
I've never seen it. Not a big Kevin guy.
What's your favorite Woody Allen movie? I don't have a favorite. Too hard to choose. Just okay. What's the one that what Annie Hall? I think Annie Hall is my favorite.
Annie Hall's definitely a good one. I mean, there's so many good Woody Allen movies.
Was that Christopher Walken's first movie? He's got that weird part where
he's in the car driving, right?
Yeah, he's in the car driving.
Yeah, it's got to be one of his earliest roles.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Annie Hall. I like Annie Hall.
Annie Hall's definitely up there. I like. I don't know. There's so many good ones with him. But Annie Hall's probably the best. Annie Hall's definitely the best.
Ooh, OGR says, where do you guys rank A Few Good Men? It's in my top 5 all time. Well, OGR, you came to the right place. I am a huge Tom Cruise fan. So it's automatically a great movie for me. But yeah, I mean, Jack Nicholson is unbelievable. Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon.
How do you feel about your boy Cruise getting a movie stolen from him by Jack Nicholson, who only pops up in it for like 12 minutes?
Jack Nicholson, that last scene is the greatest speech in movie making history. I just went out and said it. I just said it.
Well, I mean, you say a lot of things that are wrong. You said a couple of things that are wrong on here about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars already.
Is that wrong? I don't think it's wrong. I think we could agree on that.
Definitely a good one. It's definitely a good one.
Yeah. You can't handle it. A Quiet Place was a good one too. Oh God. Yeah, we were talking about that at the top of the stream. Quiet Place is going to be amazing, the second one.
It's not it's a sequel that's coming out, not a prequel. That's what they said. They said prequel.
Yeah. Taps with Bill Murray. Okay, let's talk about some Bill Murray movies. You and me are the biggest Bill Murray fans on the planet. Caddyshack, of course. Okay, but Groundhog Day, Kingpin, Big Earn. I mean, we did our first show talking about Big Earn, Ernie McCracken, and that is probably a comedy that a lot of people haven't seen. It is.
So
if you haven't seen Kingpin, watch it right now. Leave the stream and watch it.
Kingpin
But
movies I probably watched like 50 times. Easily 50 times. Probably more.
but yeah, Stripes is incredible. Ghostbusters. Bill Murray's the man.
Bill Murray's the best. I love Zombieland 1 and 2, and the best part of both movies are the Bill Murray scenes.
Yeah, and even what was that? It wasn't really a comedy. Well, he was still really funny in it, but
St. Vincent's.
St. Vincent with Melissa McCarthy, which you would think would be a comedy, it really wasn't. Yeah. But it was. That movie was awesome. I just love everything Bill Murray does.
Anything Bill Murray's done.
Yeah, Bill Murray's great. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Stripes is great. Kingpin I've watched so many times. No, Kingpin is great, man.
Kingpin's
Jay says you say a lot of things that I already was quoting you. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you got to be wrong. You got to stick your neck out there. So a lot of people probably think that I'm a moron for sticking up for Dave Gettleman. So I'm gonna say what I got to say. Big Lebowski's great. That's like a cult classic.
Lebowski's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but guys, it is 4:50. This was a lot of fun, Greg.
Yeah, this is a good one. I had a lot of time talking about this.
A lot of fun. We got to get something to eat. I'm going to be live later at 9:00. Going to have a couple of Giants YouTubers on, so that should be fun. I'm going to have Giants Alliance on tonight, and I'm also going to have there was another guy. By the way, OGR, if you want to come on, you're more than welcome to as well. I saw that you're in the chat. Just message me on Twitter. But I said I was going to have a couple of guys on. I'm also going to have one of my subscribers on. But yeah, I'll be live tonight at 9:00 for that. So hopefully some of you guys come by for that. We'll talk some football. But this was a lot of fun. Expect us to have some more content up. We're going to have some trailer reactions hopefully soon. Kind of waiting for some decent trailers to pop that we could have some reactions to. And we'll definitely have some more content up on the page as soon as possible. But thank you guys for being here. Greg, always great to have some movie conversations with you.
Always.
Yeah. Oh,
have a good one.
Harry Crumb with John Candy is absolutely epic. But guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I see some of you guys tonight. Have a good one.